Today's video is all about how to break the cycle of your anxiety and stress. So if you are at all like I used to be, where you're constantly in this loop and it just feels like anxiety or stress is a never-ending cycle and just a normal part of your life, then this video is going to help you so much, because I'm going to be breaking down some of my favorite tools and shifts that allowed me to stop that cycle and really regain control, regain power over my mindset and over my life. So make sure you stick around till the end, because I'm going to be sharing some really important and crucial steps, as well as an exciting thing that will help you even more. So let's dive in. Hey, welcome back to another video. My name is Kara Michelle and I'm here to help you live your truth. And I'm really excited to dive into this. I'm so excited that I even drew on this board. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you know drawing is not my forte, okay? But I was really excited because when we get stuck in that place of anxiety or stress, like that vision comes to my head of just this swirling, overwhelming, sense of anxiety, all of those thoughts. There's just so much mental clutter going on up here. And ideally, when we do break that cycle, we get out of that, it's like clarity, it's freedom. It's that peace of mind in every moment that is so beautiful and so attainable. So if you feel like this is your current reality and you're stuck here, please believe me when I say that it's possible to get out of that and get to a place that is more clear and is more peaceful for you. And I know in the darkest days of my anxiety, when I was like full-fledged, extremely anxious about everything and really stuck in a negative place, I didn't necessarily believe that it would be that easy to get to the other side, or that it was even possible to have a new frame of mind or a new way of thinking and living. And so I like, please, please, I beg of you to give this a chance and try out these things that I'm sharing, because even if they might sound a little bit simple for you or simple to you, they have so much power within them. And oftentimes the biggest solutions come from the most simple things. So to get to this this desired reality, the number one thing that I'm going to invite you to do on this video is to practice detaching from your thoughts. Okay, and so this, let's just write this down here. Create separation. So when, I'm gonna refer to this because it's the easiest thing, but when you're feeling this way and you have a million different thoughts going on and spiraling, and you're just getting pulled in all of these stressful situations or stressful directions, there's no separation. So in those moments, you feel like you are your thoughts and you're feeling really consumed by them, right? And so that is just so strong. This is all you can think of, all you believe in, all that you know, and it's that's your reality, right? When you create some separation by detaching from those thoughts, it's literally becomes a breath of fresh air, where you're able to step back and realize that you are not your thoughts. Okay, so my absolutely favorite way to do this was from a book. Put a picture here. It's called The Way of the White Clouds by Osho. He was, if you don't know who he is, just amazing guru, mindset master, and really big in the Eastern teachings, which is a lot of mindfulness and just practicing that healthy separation. And I'm going to preface this by saying it's healthy, I think for me personally, maybe you can relate to this. When I first heard about detaching from thoughts, I thought that would mean I'm more heartless, almost detaching from it in a really negative way. But in reality, you're creating a healthy detachment, which means really just being able to step back, be the observer, and create that little bit of space so that then you can actually live, breathe, and act from a more peaceful place, from a better frame of mind, right? Whereas when you're super attached to all of these things, that's not healthy at all. It's not healthy for you and your own mental state, obviously, and it's not healthy for people around you or for what you're trying to create in your life, because you're so caught up in this and so focused in kind of a fear-based or negative way. You're actually going to live and create more of that. So you're going to be like vibrating in this really negative frequency and creating more of that as you go around the world, you know, bringing your scattered energy, bringing your anxiety, bringing your fear-based thoughts or doubts, right? So the healthiest thing you can do for yourself and for those around you and for the planet is to create a little bit of detachment, a little bit of separation, because then that can help bring you back into alignment with your truest self, which is the being behind the anxiety. You are the observer behind every single thought. Comment it down below. I'm the observer behind every thought. It feels so good to start to realize that. So my favorite way to create this healthy detachment, and what really helped me, like I said, was from an Osho book, The Way of the White Cloud. And I was given this by my mindfulness and meditation teacher when I was in India. And it was just so beautiful, so profound to see the different ways to interpret situations in our lives. And it does all come down to our perspective and the meaning we create over things. So what they talk about a lot in the Eastern world is like the attachment is actually what creates the suffering. The suffering doesn't come from the experience, it comes from how we respond to the experience. So a lot of the experiences in my life that were challenging or difficult, yes, they were very difficult for me, but it was actually the perspective and the way I responded that created even more suffering, and like really long lasting suffering. Whereas had I responded and like had a little bit more grace, or had a little bit more perspective around the fact that like, what is this teaching me? Why is this here? How is this actually helping me? I could have shown up in a totally different way. So what he talks about, and this is where this drawing comes into play a little bit more, is like thinking of your mind as like a beautiful blue sky, this beautiful, beautiful, sunny, clear day, right? Not a cloud in the sky. And then your thoughts are like clouds. And so when you're feeling super anxious, or when this is your default, it's probably like full of clouds, right? There's probably so many that you don't even see the blue sky. You don't even feel the clarity of who you are underneath those thoughts, which is why it comes back to realizing you're the observer, right? You are the blue sky behind all the thoughts. You are not the thoughts. You're not all those clouds. So when you get consumed in this place, it's like full of clouds, and you probably also are attaching, keyword from before, right? You're attaching to those, and the more you attach and cling to those thoughts, then think of it as like the cloud is getting bigger and bigger, or darker and darker, to become a storm cloud. This is what really, really resonated for me. If you're visual, hopefully this helps you as well. So it's like you're creating this storm cloud by attaching to your anxiety, or attaching to your anxious thoughts or your stressful thoughts. So of course, you're naturally gonna feel like so much more overwhelmed and consumed, because you've literally just taken this pure, loving, blissful blue sky, this untouched, unstoppable being, which is you, that's you. You've taken that and you've just like overwhelmed it with all of these thoughts and all of these anxieties. So of course it's not going to feel good. Now, when you, like if you can use this as an understanding and focus on this in your life, you can start to see, okay, wait a minute, there are way too many clouds, so no wonder I feel overwhelmed and stressed. So how can I like let go of them piece by piece? So maybe you're actually gonna like break them down. And this is where I'm gonna get into step 2 of like questioning your thoughts. So questioning your thoughts, because when you have all of them and there's just like, it's just nonstop clouds or really dark storm clouds, it's really hard to even break down any of them or see them for what they truly are, because it's just so consuming, and that's natural. That's how you're gonna feel. That's okay. But when you start to practice this and you go, okay, wait a minute, here's this one thought, or here's this one cloud. What can I question about it? Like, where is this coming from? Why am I feeling this way? Is this actually helping me? Is there a different truth? Like, is this 100% true, or is this just a possibility, right? When we get consumed, it seems like this is the only possibility, this is the reality. When we create that healthy separation, we can see there's actually a million possibilities. There's a million different realities. And especially if you connect to the quantum field, which I talk about way more in depth in this video here, then you're able to see like there are limitless possibilities of how things can play out. So you're spending all your energy focusing on one, and a really negative limiting one, most likely, if it's causing you anxiety. And in fact, there are limitless potentials and limitless realities of how things can play out. So expanding by creating that separation, creating that distance, seeing them as clouds, right, allows you to open up to the fact that, wow, wait a minute, this could actually be very different, or this could happen instead, that would be much better, or, you know, maybe this is a possibility. And so you create that really healthy detachment. So when I started to do this work and like breaking down my thoughts, then I could look at them piece by piece. So if you're finding this helpful so far, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notifications so that you're first to be notified every time I upload a new video. As always too, if you have any questions as I'm going or anything you relate to, comment it down below. I love connecting with you and I want to hear what resonates, okay? So what I started to do is like, have you ever been, let me ask you this, have you ever been so caught in your anxious spiral and you get to a point where you're like, wait a minute, how did I even get here? Like, I remember doing this so much when I was younger, and I'd be like, whoa, how did I even get to this thought? Like, so many countless nights where I would be anxious and struggling to fall asleep, and I'd ask myself, how did I get here? And I'd start to backtrack from this thought, and I'd be like, okay, well, I got to there because I was thinking about this, and I got to this one because I was thinking about the possibility of this happening and what I would say if that happened, and oh my gosh, I got there because I was thinking about this thing that happened yesterday, right? And I would work my way back through those thoughts. I'd break them down, and it was crazy. I was doing this when I was younger without even realizing it. I think it probably helped me down the line to cultivate more mindfulness, but what I'm suggesting to you is like, use your overthinking as a superpower, because if you're using it for good, it's going to help you so much, and it can radically change your life in a short amount of time. Right now, you're using your overthinking as a negative, right? It's like hindering you and keeping you stuck in the struggle because it's always focused on the things that could go wrong or coming from a place of fear. Now, if you use your overthinking to question your thoughts, to backtrack and break them down, you're going to notice major breakthroughs, because this creates the awareness of why you're actually feeling this way. So given the example I just kind of shared, like, I'm at this thought and I go, whoa, how did I even get here? And I backtrack it of like, oh, I was thinking about this. Then I could go, whoa, well, wait, why did I even think of that? Why is that even a possibility or focus? And like, where is that coming from? And I can question it and see, oh, that's coming from an experience I had 5 years ago where something went horribly wrong, and so I'm afraid it's going to happen again. And without even realizing it, I brought that into this situation, which caused more anxiety. And then you can go, okay, so yes, it happened that one time. Is this the only truth? Are there other possible outcomes? Are there other things that could happen? Think about like speaking, for example, public speaking. I've shared with you guys before that that's been a place where I have a lot of insecurities, or previously had a lot of insecurities and anxieties about like opening up and being heard and everything. So I could backtrack and go, wait a minute, it's because this one time in like grade 5, I remember speaking up and giving an answer, and I was like really wrong, and people laughed, and so I started to feel like afraid to share because I thought, oh my gosh, I never have the right things to say. So if I become aware of that through doing this process, through seeing it as a cloud, seeing it separately, and separate from myself, separate from all the other noise and clouds, right? If I can do that, then I can question it and I can go, okay, so yes, it happened that one time, but is that an ultimate truth? Like, that's a great question to ask yourself when you're feeling anxiety about something. Is this an ultimate truth? And in that case, it's like, no, it's not that I was stupid and never had right things to say and that people didn't respect me ever when I spoke up. It's just that that one time I shared something and people responded that way because like they laughed at the answer or whatever. It's not an ultimate truth that my voice doesn't matter or that I'm stupid or whatever those beliefs were. And so it also allows you to then go, okay, so why else, or like what other reasons am I super anxious about speaking up? Say I'm giving a presentation tomorrow and I have all this anxiety about it. It's like, well, so what are the other reasons I'm anxious? Well, because I'm afraid that, I'm gonna forget what I said, what I need to say because it happened that one time before, or because I'm thinking of this, or like, what if they don't respond well? And you can literally break down every single one of those things into separate clouds. So you've just got, okay, this is a thought. How can I question it, realize it's not an ultimate truth? And then also, which I didn't talk about, oh man, where do I even write it? It is written down below. So is this an ultimate truth? And then if not, wow, messy. What is like the new truth? What is the empowering thought that you could have? Oh dear. Empowering thought. So here I am feeling anxious, spiraling into this public speaking thing. I realized, okay, this isn't an ultimate truth. There is limitless possibilities, as I mentioned earlier. There are so many limitless, infinite possibilities of what could play out. And so now what is a more empowering thought or a new empowering truth to believe in? So for instance, our brains tend to focus primarily on the negatives. I guarantee you, whatever you're feeling anxious about, there's probably been countless experiences or moments in your life where the opposite happened and it actually worked out for you, was really positive, but your brain hasn't held on to them. Your brain hasn't like stored or clung to them as much as it's clung to the negative examples. So funnily enough, when I was thinking about this, actually reflecting on this a while back, I was like, wait a minute. I used to be in like speakers clubs. I used to introduce like Olympic athletes, gold medal winners. I used to like do all these different things at my school. I used to, I would speak in front of different crowds, different groups, spoke like at my brother's funeral in front of like 1,000 people. I spoke at my dad's wedding in front of like a few hundred people when he got remarried, like sharing vulnerable, honest things in front of them, like pouring my heart out. And I didn't have any anxiety or any fear, and like I showed up beautifully, right? So like, yet I'm not remembering those stories. My subconscious is holding on to the times where I maybe messed up or I felt like I didn't do a good enough job, right? So if you can find the empowering thought or find proof of another possibility, proof of another reality around, oh wait, this did work for me that time, it could work for me again, let me now attach to that thought. Let me leave this dark storm cloud of it's never gonna work, right? Like it's never gonna work out for me because of these reasons, these experiences. Let me question those and let me find the opposite proof in other memories of my life and let me attach to that, right? And this is now like the beautiful beautiful white cloud or just bringing you back into your alignment as the blue sky, if that makes sense. So really using this constantly, like I said, turn your overthinking into a superpower to identify and uncover, and then shift these stories into more empowering stories. And if you want extra tools to help with your anxiety, all different natural healing techniques that have helped me radically over the last few years, make sure you check out the link down below. I've got a free anxiety ebook for you that's going to help you so much to shift these things, where I break down, again, 7 different tools that helped me. I explain how to use them. I give examples of those tools, my favorite ways, and what they helped me with along massive spectrum of anxious things that I struggled with. So that will be so helpful for you. And if you are like super keen on understanding more about reprogramming your mind so that you can detach from these thoughts in a more powerful way, and you can start to separate and really shift into just a positive mindset as a default, make sure you check out my free mindset training, which is also linked down below, because I dive into that very deep in my exact 3-step process to reprogram the subconscious mind to start working for you instead of against you. Because as I mentioned, our default programming is highly negative, unfortunately, and we have anywhere from 70,000 to like 95,000 thoughts a day. And I remember reading one study that said something like 80 or 90% of those thoughts are negative. I'm not good at math, but that means there's a lot of negative thoughts that we're having every single day. So if you can create awareness and you can learn how to reprogram that the way I did and the way I've shared in the training and the way I've helped all my clients do it, then you can start to shift so that like a way higher percent, 80 to 90% of your thoughts become positive. They become empowering. They help support you in the story, in the identity, in the life that you're creating. So make sure you check out either of those down below, the free anxiety ebook or the free mindset training. I hope it serves you. Again, I hope this video helped you so much as well in your anxiety journey. Know that freedom is possible. It's here for you. I want to support you in any way I can. So please comment down below any questions or reach out. And again, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And I will see you on the next video.